Hi, welcome to Mingo Music. Today we're going to have a quick look at a Roland amplifier. Roland has been our #1 selling amp brand for the last year or two. We thought we should focus on one of their new models. This is a Cube 20XL. It's 20 watts through an 8-inch speaker. That gives it a little bit more robust sound than you'd find in some of the smaller 6 or 6.5-inch speakers in small amps. It's a 2-channel amp, so I've got a clean channel, a nice decent sounding clean channel, which is modeled after Roland's famous jazz chorus. Pretty pure tone. It's not colored very much, so it's quite natural sounding. In between my two channels I also have a built-in tuner, so if I hold the button for a few seconds it will light up to tell me where I am as far as being in tune. It's a lot more handy than forgetting my tuner at somebody else's house. In the second channel I have a bunch of Boss distortion pedals built in. Of course, Roland is the parent company of Boss, so why not use their own pedals? They've only sold 6 or 8 million of them. They must know what they're doing. So I have anything from a mild overdrive, if I'm looking for some of just the classic rock stuff, a little bit of grit, nothing too heavy. The difference between the clean channel, how much it gets a little grittier. If I go up to the other extreme, I've got a metal stack pedal, which is going to give me the sound as if I was playing through a stacked amplifier with maybe 4 or 8 12-inch speakers in it. It's going to have a lot more low end, the mid-range will be scooped out a little bit, and it's going to be louder. Also gives you a great lead tone as well, nice and thick and saturated. So if you're a headbanger, there's a much better distortion sounding than you'd get out of just your basic overdrive sound. Now back to the clean channel. Standard 3-band EQ on the top, bass, mid-range and treble, so it allows me to maybe compensate for a guitar that I'm not otherwise happy with the tone with. Or it allows me to accent more bass, less treble, more treble, less bass. Over in the effects control, I've got a bunch of Boss pedals built into this one button. So I can have anything from chorus, which is basically sort of a simulated pan between stereo, even though we're playing through a mono amp. Other things like a flanger, tremolo, and something that I've added to the 20XL is an octave pedal. It basically plays an octave below whatever I play. Gives me sort of a twin guitar effect if I want to. The last button over here is delay or reverb, so I can have anything from slapback delay up to standard reverb, depending on the size of the room I'm trying to sound like I'm playing in. Bring that up a little. Just keeps my tone from being too dry. Now, a couple other functions that are on here. I've got an optional foot switch that I can buy, which gives me two different functions. On this particular model, it allows me to either change channels, so I don't have to do it manually, or it allows me to turn on an effect or off, so I don't have to do that from the button there. That's handy if I'm trying to change channels in the middle of a solo, or if I want to just turn the effect on or off at a certain point during the chorus maybe. I've got a record out function which doubles as my headphones, so that shorts the speaker out, so it allows me to practice late at night without disturbing everybody else in the house. I have an auxiliary in jack that allows me to plug my MP3 or CD player in to jam along with it, which I would hear everything through my headphones. The last button is another thing that's sort of unique to Boss and Roland. They've added a power squeezer. That's a button that lights up when it's on, off, on. Basically what that does is it allows me to keep the tone of my louder amp at lower volume. Most times when you turn an amp down, you're going to find that the tone really starts to suffer a little bit, as well as not being as loud. So what the power squeeze does is let me sort of keep the impact and the texture of the tone just at a reduced volume. So here's my amp with the power squeezer off. Here's the power squeezer on. Basically it keeps the quality of the tone, all the settings that I have, but just drops the volume of the amp down. That's a quick look at the Roland Cube 20XL amp, available at Mingo Music. Come on in and have a look at it.